Good morning. Today we'll start with compressible flow. Effect of back pressure on mass flow rate. So this is our converging nozzle here. Air at 1 megapascal and 600 degrees Celsius with a velocity of 150 meter per second is flowing. The nozzle throat area is given 50 centimeter square. We have to find the mass flow rate through the nozzle when the back pressure is 0.7 megapascal, and in the second case your back pressure is 0.4 megapascal. So this area is given, but it is converging nozzle, so this is the area of the throat. The constant pressure, specific heat and specific heat ratio of air is 1.005 and K is equal to 1.4. We will find the stagnation temperature, which is temperature at inlet, velocity at inlet. Velocity is 150 meter per second. So T initial is equal to, or T inlet is 600 degrees Celsius converted to Kelvin, which is 873 Kelvin. So T stagnation is equal to 884 Kelvin. And P stagnation is equal to T stagnation divided by T at inlet into P at inlet. So which will lead you to P stagnation is equal to 1.045 megapascal. We will find the critical pressure ratio from table, which is given. So this is critical pressure ratio is given for air, that is P by P naught, T by T naught and rho by rho naught. So you can take values from here for critical temperature, critical pressure. But here the back pressure is 0.7 megapascal and inlet pressure is, stagnant pressure is 1.045. So we have this back pressure ratio is 0.670, which is greater than critical pressure ratio. Thus the exit plane pressure is equal to back pressure in this case, that is PT is equal to PB, which is equal to 0.7 megapascal. So this will also ensure that flow is not choked. Now from this table, PT by P naught is equal to 0.670. We read Mach number is equal to 0.778 and T by T naught is equal to 0.892. Because we have this ratio, that is PT by P naught, so we can find Mach number ratio, and that is your temperature ratio at the throat to the. So we know this temperature ratio. So we can find T means exit temperature, which is 788.5, because inlet temperature is given and ratio we know from the table. We can also find density at the inlet, which is pressure at the outlet, density at the outlet, and universal gas current multiplied temperature at outlet, which is 3.093 kg per meter cube. So these values are correspond to the outlet condition at this point at the throat. Find velocity, which is Mach at throat and root K RT. So this velocity is the velocity of the sound at particular temperature multiplied by Mach number of the throat. We will get this 437.9 meter per second. Now what is mass flow rate? That is density into area of throat into velocity, which is 6.77 kg per second. Now take the second case when your back pressure is 0.4 megapascal, which is less than the critical pressure ratio 0.5283. Therefore sonic condition exit at the exit plane throat of nozzle, which is means the flow will be choked, that is Mach number 1 is used. So because flow is choked, so we can calculate this from different relation. So for a specified area, because area is given and stagnation properties T naught and P naught, so we have this formula here, that is mass maximum is equal to, if area is given, from this relation you can calculate. So K is 1.4, R is universal gas constant, temperature is given. So when you solve this, you will get mass flow rate is equal to 7.10 kg per second. This is the maximum flow rate through the nozzle for the specified inlet conditions and the nozzle throat. Converging and diverging nozzle. When we think of nozzles, we ordinarily think of flow passages whose cross-section area decrease in the flow section. However, the highest velocity to which a fluid can be accelerated in a converging nozzle is limited to the sonic velocity, which is 1. Mach number is 1, which occurs at the exit plane throat of the nozzle. Accelerating a fluid to supersonic velocities, Mach number greater than 1, can be accomplished only by attaching a diverging flow section to the subsonic nozzle at the throat. The resulting combined flow section is a converging diverging nozzle, which is standard equipment in supersonic aircraft and rocket propulsion. Forcing a fluid through a converging diverging nozzle is no guarantee that the fluid will be accelerated to a supersonic velocity. In fact, the fluid may find itself deaccelerating in the diverging section instead of accelerating if the back pressure is not in the right range. The state of nozzle flow is determined by the overall pressure ratio, that is back pressure and inlet pressure. Therefore, for a given inlet conditions, the flow through a converging diverging nozzle is governed by the back pressure. Will be explained later here. So you can see the converging diverging nozzles are commonly used in rocket engine to provide high thrust. So this is converging part, this is diverging part. Consider the converging diverging nozzle shown when the stagnation pressure is P0, back pressure is PV. This is your converging diverging nozzle. So this is inlet pressure, inlet velocity is almost equal to 0. This is back pressure, this is exit pressure. So this is the throat here. So this is expected since the flow in nozzle is driven by the pressure difference between the nozzle inlet and exit. So this is the pressure at inlet and pressure at outlet. So these are different curves for different back pressure. For the same curves between inlet pressure and back pressure, we had graph between Mach number, inlet, throat and exit here for these curves here. So these curves represent the Mach velocity, the maximum velocity which we can achieve throughout the nozzle. So this is expected since the flow in the nozzle is driven by the pressure difference between the nozzle, inlet and exit. So when P0 greater than PV greater than PC, the flow remains subsonic throughout the nozzle. You can see P0 is greater than PV, and when P0 is greater than PC, the flow is subsonic flow at nozzle exit and no shock. The fluid velocity increases in the first converging section and reaches maximum at the throat. You can see fluid velocity increasing when your Mach number is less than 1. So this is the curve B here, means in this B curve your Mach number is less than 1. So fluid velocity increasing. At the throat section it will start to decrease. So you can see here your velocity start to decrease, and this decrease in velocity will increase your pressure further. So here you had decrease in pressure, increase in velocity, and beyond this point you had increase in pressure and decrease in velocity. However, most of the gain in velocity is lost in the second diverging section of the nozzle, which acts as a diffuser. The pressure decrease in converging section reaches a minimum at the throat and increases at the expense of velocity in the diverging section. So when your back pressure is equal to PC, the throat pressure becomes maximum P star and the fluid achieves sonic velocity at throat, but diverging section of the nozzle still acts as a diffuser, slowing the fluid to subsonic velocities. The mass flow rate that was increasing with decreasing back pressure also reached its maximum value. So we are discussing the C case. In here you can see the velocity increasing as you go through the nozzle, and at throat it is maximum, and then again the velocity start to decrease. Here you can say this is the case, pressure start to decrease and it will minimum at this point, then again pressure start to increase because this part of the nozzle will act as a diffuser. Recall that P star is the lowest pressure that can be obtained at the throat and sonic velocity is highest velocity that can be achieved with the converging nozzle. So if you consider on this converging part here, so this is the maximum velocity which you can achieve, that is Mach 1. If you consider only up to throat, this is converging part. And if you decrease the pressure further in converging part, means if you go like this in converging part, so this won't affect the maximum velocity, means decreasing of back pressure in converging part has no effect on the velocity beyond this. If you decrease the back pressure beyond this, so that not gonna affect the maximum velocity. Maximum velocity will remain up to the Mach number 1. Now consider a case when your back pressure lies between PC and PE, means we are talking about this area. The fluid that achieved a sonic velocity at throat continues to accelerating to supersonic velocity in the diverging section as pressure decreases. So this acceleration comes to a sudden stop, however, as normal shock develops at a section between throat and exit plane, which cause a sudden drop in velocity to subsonic level. So this is shock in nozzle, means from supersonic to your velocity will decrease to the subsonic suddenly, and here in pressure it will suddenly jump in the pressure. In case of velocity it is sudden drop. The fluid then continues to deaccelerate further in remaining part of converging and diverging nozzle. You can say it is further deaccelerating, its speed is decreasing. The normal shock moves downward stream away from throat as PV is decreased, and it approaches the nozzle exit plane as PV approaches PE. So when PV is PE, the normal shock forms at exit plane of the nozzle. The flow is supersonic through the entire diverging section in the case, and it can be approximate as isentropic. However, the fluid velocity drops to subsonic level just before leaving the nozzle as it crosses the normal shock. So when back pressure is less than PE or greater than 0, means we are talking about at this point when back pressure is less than PE and greater than 0, the flow in diverging section is supersonic and the fluid expands to PF at the nozzle exit without no normal shock forming within the nozzle. Thus flow through the nozzle can be approximate as isentropic. When PV is equal to PF, no shock occur within or outside the nozzle. You can see during PF pressure there is no shock. Shock is limited to this range. At PF there is no shock. So when PV is less than PF, irreversible mixing and expansion wave occur downstream of the exit plane of the nozzle. So you can see if you go below this PF pressure, when PV greater than PF, means back pressure is greater than PF, however the pressure of the fluid increases from PF to PV irreversibly in wake of nozzle exit, creating what are called oblique shocks. So this is up to about the converging and diverging nozzle.